Eurobox presents Taboo, written by Cala Tesolin. Taboo by Cala Tesolin is an intimate and unflinching collection of poetry that dares to explore the silences, wounds, and forbidden corners of the human heart. With raw honesty and lyrical intensity, the author writes about love, loss, identity, and the everyday deaths that mark our lives. The author is our special guest today to give us a deeper insight on her recently released book. So, hi Cala, welcome to Conoscere TV, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Your introduction speaks powerfully about the thousand faces of death. How did this vision shape the poems that follow?
I think all of my poetry, you can tell from the book, also including the introduction, is extremely personal. So everything that I've written in that introduction is something that I've actually lived. So the vision of the thousand faces of death, I think, is something that I carry with me, and it's a metaphor for all of the different, really low points of life. And I think in the rest of my poetry, sometimes you can almost identify where I've been going through another one of these deaths or meeting one of these other thousand faces of death.
Also, you have a very interesting poetic style. Your verses balance tenderness and brutality. What role does this contrast play in your creative process?
I've been told by people who know me closely that I experience my emotions very viscerally, and I think that's absolutely true. And I think you can also tell with the brutality of the way that I express certain emotions in my poetry. But I think I'm also generally a very loving person. I like to say that I've been in love more than I've been out of it. So I think the tenderness comes with me, and so does the brutality, and that's just how it goes.
Wonderful. Also, several poems suggest a dialogue with family, lovers, even with yourself. How do personal relationships inform your poetry?
My book is my life, absolutely. And I think the poem you're specifically referring to, where I'm having dialogue with each of the members of my family and also with my younger self, future self, it's my form of expression, and there's nothing I can write that I haven't actually experienced. And this is, the most important part of my life are the people in it. And I think if I weren't able to understand them, I wouldn't be able to write them. And it just really helps me sort of bring my life together and share the things that I've learned.
So this book is you. Got it. The title Taboo, I think it implies breaking boundaries. What taboos, what literary or personal taboos were you most determined to confront in this collection?
I think certain poems in this book might make people a little bit uncomfortable. And I think that's also how I've managed to write them. I grew up in Catholic school as an atheist, and I lived most of my life trying to conform to certain aspects of society that I didn't really feel like I fit into. There's poems in this book that talk simultaneously about religion and sex. And I think, it's really important to me that you do feel this discomfort and then you sit with it and that you accept it, and that, we recognize that life isn't just feeling the beautiful emotions of it or the tenderness of it, but also feeling the bad stuff and making these connections. Sex and religion aren't that far off, and death and love aren't either. And I think, my real goal was to make people confront these taboos and these discomforts that we carry.
Wonderful, interesting. And what about the feedbacks that you have been receiving up to now?
So far, so good, I have to say. I'm very happy to say. I did have people come up to me, and these were my favorites, where they've told me like, hey, this was really like personal. Like, people who know me and have read it, they're like, wow, I can really see like how much of you is in this book, and I can almost know who you were talking about in certain parts. And people who've told me like, yeah, the imagery is really vivid. I love that because, yeah, for me, it's not really a metaphor. Like when I speak about my organs being pecked out by birds, those are like real things that I've felt and I cannot describe in any different way. So yeah, so far so good. I'm really happy with it.
Wonderful. Is there anything that you would like to tell your readers now that you have the chance to?
I would like to say take it as literally as possible because that's how I wrote it. Everything that I say, yes, of course, there are metaphors. That's the rule of poetry, but those are real feelings that I think some people can relate to. So take it as literally as possible and be brave to confront the maybe negative feelings that can arise from it.
Well, thank you, Cala. Thank you again for your time for this interview, and we wish you best luck with your poetry collection.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Each poem is a doorway into a private world where tenderness coexists with violence, faith with doubt, beauty with decay. This is not just a book of poems, it is an emotional journey that challenges conventions and invites readers to confront their own taboos with courage and vulnerability. Taboo, written by Cala Tesolin, is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobooks.